Morning, everybody. It's great to see you. Thanks for coming to Mass today. A couple things I just want to talk about. Number one, Men's Summit is in less than a month, and I'd like the guys to take a look at that and hopefully sign up because it's a great event. We've expanded it this year to include Holy Cross and St. Peter's in Geneva and St. John Newman across town. So it's the four parishes combined. And Friday night's night of fraternity. Guys, we're going to be sitting outside in the patio by the school, between the school and the church with a fire, and we're going to have a great barbecue. We'll have some bourbon, beer, cigars, pop, water, an amazing meal. And the whole point of that in the evening is just to get together as men and just enjoy each other's company and sit there and talk with our friends. And at the same time, we're going to have an opportunity to hear a talk. Last year, we kind of brought into the church the guys' feedback because that was too much after a lot of food. So we're just going to stay out there and enjoy the weather under the stars there. And Father Burke Masters, is just going to give a short talk on how to live out your vocation and how to be supported and of each other, and just what a great vocation it is to be husbands, fathers, men, and Catholics. And so that's Friday. Super easy and a lot of fun. And then Saturday will be a day of formation. We'll have great breakfast. And then we will have Paul George, a nationally known speaker, come, and again, the same point, how to build up men in their vocations as husbands, fathers, men, Catholics, those who are responsible for the building up of the family and the building of the culture. Men get a bad rap, and so we're taking this opportunity to build you guys up and tell you how awesome you are and how great your vocation is and how much we appreciate it. So that's going to be Saturday. And there'll also be a panel question and answer with myself, Father Browning, Father Cladar, and Father Paul White. That ought to be very interesting. You guys will ask questions, and we'll answer. So that'll be part of the day as well. And a fantastic lunch of lots of red meat, things like that. Then we do need the guys to do it, sign up sooner rather than later, because we've got to have a count coming up in the next week or two of how much food we need to buy. You guys eat a lot, so we got to have a lot of food, and we just don't want to overdo it. Or, just overdo it, so or not have enough. And also we have to have the T-shirts printed up. So please, look at the bulletin and sign up, or I think Frank's going to be in the back after Mass, or one of the guys from the planning committee, and they will take your registration if you're of a mind to give that to them. Okay, the main thing I want to talk about today is the upcoming Diocesan Capital Campaign. We've been talking a lot about that. A lot of information going around about that and maybe what we might be doing here. So today I just want to take a step back, and this is the first time I've had a chance to talk to you all about it. And so today is very informational, me talking to you, but you talking to me. In your pews are pieces of paper with pens. And I need you to pass those out right now. I need you to fill them out while I'm talking. Please, everybody do that. Your opinion matters. And what I'm about to tell you, I can't follow through on unless I know what you think. So we haven't done anything yet because we haven't heard from you yet. All we can do is kind of tell you what our hopes, dreams, aspirations, or ideas might be, and then you have to say whether or not you agree with those and whether you'll support them. All right. So, number one, the diocese is having a capital campaign this fall. So we're in the first wave, so ours starts this fall. You'll be hearing more about that in September, October, and we'll probably start that process in mid to late November for that. What is our share of the diocese campaign? Just a little bit over $2 million that we have to raise for the diocese. What are they raising money for? The last time they did a campaign was back in 2000, United in Faith. And so Bishop Malloy wants to create an endowment for the future. He wants to create a fund to help our Catholic schools and high schools. He wants to create a fund to help those parishes which are struggling or in danger of closing. He wants to create better ministries and programs for youth ministry and religious education for the diocese and for Hispanic ministry. So that, in a nutshell, is what that is, and we'll talk more about that later, but I just wanted to say we are having that campaign. We do have to do it, and that is how much we have to raise for the diocese. So here's the thing. We have a lot of needs here at Crane Road. We already spent, Monsignor Knox spent a lot of money, you spent a lot of money renovating downtown. Now we have to look at this church in our complex and say, we have needs here. I think there's an opportunity here. Since we're having the diocesan campaign, is it the time to do one campaign that includes the diocese, but it's for ourselves? Let's say we don't. We just do the diocesan one. Then we've got to wait to raise money for this parish and the things that need to be done 6 to 7 years. Why 6 to 7 years? Because once we engage the diocesan one and we don't do anything here, we got to let the diocesan one out over 3 or 4 years. Then we got to take a 2-year break to give people a breather before we could even think about starting another one for ourselves. And Bishop, and I asked him, can we do one campaign, include the diocese, but also raise money principally for ourselves? And he said, yes, we can do that. So since we're doing already for the diocese, it makes sense to take one bite at the apple and to do the whole thing now. And you say, well, all right, what do we need to raise money for here? Let's talk about that. The most expensive, one of the most expensive things in the proposition I'm putting before you is the ceiling. You say, well, what's wrong with the ceiling? Well, I don't know if you know this or not, and I don't know how Monsignor Dempsey got away with this 35 years ago when he built the church. There's no sprinkler system in here. There's no water system. There's no fire retardant system in this church. In this building, so in this church, we're out of code, and now we have to pay the piper. We have to get into code. Now, that's not an option. We have to do that. So what does that mean? We have to take the ceiling down, and we have to put the sprinkler system in, and then we have to put a ceiling back up. That's what that means. So it's not optional. Has to be done. So what that means is once we put the sprinkler system in, we'll put a new ceiling up. And if we're putting a new ceiling up, it's an opportunity for us to make it less monochromatic, put some color there, put some dimension, some ribbing to make it look more sacred and more let's say, inviting. It's like we're walking into heaven, you know? So an opportunity. We got to do it, so let's do it right. And it's not optional. It's going to cost a lot of money. Since the building is going to be closed for 3 months while we do that, the building's going to be closed. We'll have Mass in the gym. We'll add a couple Masses, and we'll do shorter Masses that summer so that we can get everybody into Mass, and everybody will have an opportunity to receive the Eucharist. And that's the gym, because this will all be closed. Since the building is going to be closed anyways, doesn't it make sense then to take care of a few other things that need attending to right now? What are those things? The carpet's 35 years old. How many of us have 35-year-old carpet in our important spaces at our house? All right? Especially when there's a lot of kids and people in and out and a lot of traffic. Is it time to replace the carpet? You know, the first time I saw this church 35 years ago was, the church was brand new. One of the first events was confirmation. My brother Matt was being confirmed, and he asked me to be a sponsor. So I was in my middle late 20s, and I was sitting in the middle of the church on the aisle for a practice. And I said, boy, this church is nice. So perfect and pretty and clean, and everything's fresh. And then I looked down at the carpet, and somebody had tracked in mud. They walked through one of the gardens out there, and they tracked mud in all the way down. All right? Not you know, it's not the end of the world, but wow. And then Monsignor Dempsey is, if you remember him, lovely man, but he had a quick Irish temper. And it blew on that day when he walked in, and he saw that mud on his new carpet. A couple days later, they had confirmation. You would never have known. I don't know what he did. It looked perfect. Right? But think of this. All the traffic on this carpet, in this church, all the people, the footprints, the marks that people have made walking down these aisles, sitting in these pews, coming down for their weddings, for communion, for Mass, for baptisms, being brought in, carried in for their funeral. All the traffic, all the footprints. And now we have an opportunity to make our own mark, to make our own footprints, so that people in the future generations get to walk in our path and see what we did to provide a place for them to worship. So, is it an opportunity for us to change the carpet while the building is closed? And if we're going to change the carpet, do we change the pews? You guys sit in them. You know whether they need work or not. Do we have them refurbished? They have to be removed to be refurbished, resanded, revarnished, and put back in. New kneelers, probably yes. Do we need them just refurbished, or do we need new pews? Last night I got an email. I talked at the 4 o'clock Mass like I'm talking to you right now. Some guy emails me. He goes, Father, you wouldn't believe this. You're talking at Mass, and you start talking about the pews. And my wife leans over and she says, they don't need new pews. And just as she was doing that, she was reaching for the hymnal. And the hymnal rack fell off onto the floor. I'm just like, thank you, God. Thank you. Right? That's amazing. Do we need new pews or just refurbished pews? While the building is closed and replacing the carpet, if that's what you decide to do we also do the pews? Okay, and then while the building is closed and we're doing all this work inside the church for those 3 months, do we take an opportunity to work on our sanctuary? To bring all the elements into harmony with each other? To provide, let's say, a space that is a ceiling as an opportunity to do, that you walk in, you're looking, you're saying, that is heaven. We're walking into heaven. Do we make this a more refined, harmonious, sacred space? Some marble, a little bit of statuary, like with the apostles and wood going across, what have you. It would be something that, if you decided to go ahead with it, we would show you schematics and drawings to say, this is a possibility. What do you think of these things? And this is just a preliminary. I need you to tell me what your opinions are and what the priorities are so that we know how to move ahead and plan for our fundraising in the future, which is going to start sometime in November, December. That would be inside the church. What are the other priorities? I would say the other non-negotiable besides the ceiling are the bathrooms. That's just my opinion. We have the worst bathrooms I've ever seen in a parish of this size. They're small, they're outdated, they're worn. There's been can you imagine how many flushes have taken place in this building over 35 years? How many people? And we have big events. We have to bring porta-johns in because we don't have enough space in our bathrooms, and especially onerous on the women in that situation. So the idea would be to take the 2 that are there now, the men's and women's, gut it, make it one bathroom for the men, go across the hall, take one of the classrooms, one of the big ones, and change that into a bigger, much bigger space, bathroom space for the women and a bride's room. That would be the idea. Now, again, is it set in stone? No. It's an idea. What's your opinion on that? If you're happy, then just say, I don't think we need them. If you think it's critical, say that's a high priority. In addition, Dempsey Hall, 35 years of parties and events and talks and meals. When we started this church 35 years ago, we were a little over 2,000 families. Now we're approaching 5,000. Same hall, same bathrooms, same kitchen. The idea would be to take that exterior wall of Dempsey, blow it out, and then move out into the garden to almost double the size of Dempsey Hall so that instead of 250, we can fit 500 people in there. And the possibility of having a divider wall that's collapsible, portable, so that we could actually sometimes maybe even have 2 events at the same time. Wouldn't that be amazing? All right. So do you think that's important? Again, while the building is closed, let's take advantage of it. While we're doing the campaign for the diocese, let's do our own so we don't have to wait 6 or 7 years. Let's do it all now, and while the building is closed, take care of some of these essential things, or high priority things, or important things. One of the other things would be, since we're doing it and the building's closed, let's do the narthex. It's kind of chopped here, there. Got a narrow hallway. There's a room back there that Monsignor Dempsey built as an apartment for himself to live in on weekends because there was no rectory here at the time. He lived downtown. And it's a big space. Bathroom, kitchenette, a little living room, bedroom, office. Again, we use it, especially, and we have like some music stuff back there, but we can easily figure out that logistical issue. But that's a big space that if we took out that wall and put, it would almost make it a continuous space from the door to there, where it's large, wide, inviting. We could have a coffee shop. We could have some living room areas, library where people can come and spend time. And when people walk in here, they say, wow, I feel really welcomed. And I think that's important too. And then finally is the parking lot. A lot of us have very strong opinions about the parking lot. You don't like it. And there's only one entrance, one exit, and it takes a long time to get out of the parking lot. And a lot of people, right after receiving the Eucharist and going to Mass, sin in the parking lot because of their frustration. Now, you want another entrance. Here's the problem. And Monsignor Dempsey found this out, Monsignor Linster found this out, Monsignor Knox found it out, and we, through the architect that we hired to at least do a preliminary study about cost and feasibility, they talked to the county, and the county said, probably not. But even if we approved it, it's going to cost you millions of dollars. Why? Because not only do we have to put an exit in, we have to redo the entire road. We have to pay for a redoing of the entire road from across our whole property, which is extensive. Why? Because there's two blind spots. There's two hills, and those hills have to be leveled out so that people have sight lines as they pull out. That's why we only have one exit here, because of the hills. So we'd have to pay for that, millions of dollars to regrade the road and widen it. So that's tough. I don't know if that's going to happen. But can we do something else? Maybe we can reconfigure the traffic flow of the parking lot. So we resurface the parking lot because it's falling apart. We can get by for a couple of years. We keep seal coating it, trying to stop the cracks and the holes, but they keep coming. But if we were to resurface it, that would be the opportunity then to reconfigure the traffic flow, reimagine it, and maybe we can improve how people are able to exit and enter. We have that unused entrance over there where the gravel and the gate are. Nobody ever gets to use that. Maybe we could use that as a right-in only and bring two lanes of traffic in. The only problem is we can't use it as an exit. Now, also, we could put a right out, maybe extend, do a little bit of an extra lane going out towards the pond that would allow people to exit to the right in, right out solutions. I don't know. We could put it under a big study and figure out what's the best way to deal with this situation. And we're going to do that. I just don't know if we can pay the money to regrade the entire road. And that's pretty onerous. So I wanted to put that in front of you. Is the parking lot something you want us to continue to study and try to figure out that problem? All right. Those are all the things. So $2 million for the diocese, $6 to $7 million for everything I just talked about for the parish. So we're looking at $8 to $9 million total. It's a lot of money. It's a big commitment. All right. But this parish is getting bigger, and a lot of people come here, and a lot of generations are going to follow us. And a lot of people are going to walk in our footsteps and leave their mark in this church. And we get to be a part of that. So I need you to put on the sheet, what's your opinion? I know there's only a few things for you to say priority, but if you want to make little notes and side notes about some of the things I've mentioned, put it in there and say, yeah, I want to do the sanctuary, but I don't really care about the pews. That's not a priority for me. Do that. I can't move ahead and the parish can't make decisions until I know what you want and what you're willing to support financially. The part of the campaign, though, we do need help, is to say, yeah, I'll help administratively, I'll volunteer for this, I'll do that. And also, I think this is the time. While we're doing the diocesan one, and while the building's closed for the ceiling, let's just do it. Because 5, 6 years from now, it's going to be a lot more expensive if we delay it. So let's do it now. What do you think? And will you give us help? And if you think we should do a campaign, will you financially support it? So, I hate stuff like this, truth be told, but it's exciting. And I'm thrilled in that sense to be able to be a part of this with you, to make our mark, to leave our footprints so that people can walk in our path as they try to find discover their plan that the Lord has for them in the church and in their spiritual lives. We get to do that for them. It's our turn. What's been done for us, we get to do for our kids and their kids. That's exciting, huh? That's what gets me pumped up. And my dad used to say to me, Danny, isn't it amazing that every time something important seems to be happening in our lives, we're driving to St. Pat's? In other words, St. Pat's is a part of our lives and a part of our families. And it's where the best stuff happens. And the most important things are joined to this family and to Christ. So, I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me today. I got to get downtown for the next Mass to talk to them. And Father Grant is over there, and he's going to come up here just for a couple minutes, and he's going to walk you through this sheet and fill it out with you, because I have to have these sheets. I need them from you. Please fill them out and tell me what you think. All right? So, Father Grant, thanks for doing that. Deacon Mike, always a pleasure. God bless you too. Thanks, everybody.